Hi, I'm Jordan St. James. You're watching the Donna Drake Show, and it's pretty baller.
I'm Donna Drake, and tonight we're in New York City, and I'm with Lauren Atkins, the founder of NYC Web Fest. Lauren, how are you feeling about tonight?
I feel so great. So many filmmakers are here tonight. It's our first time back in New York since 2019, pre-pandemic days, and it's such a great vibe here tonight. I'm so excited to see everybody and the great projects they're representing.
I'm super excited, and there will be awards. I mean, they actually get awards, and everybody's a buzz about it. I don't know. I think the winner tonight, my friend, is you. So congratulations. Stay tuned. We've got all it coming up right now. Be well. Joining us now is Dan, and welcome to the workshop at NYC Web Fest. Before 2017, when you got a lot of recognition, had you ever participated in this festival?
No, not at all. No, we made this short that was called Flappish Misdemeanors. We wrote it as a pilot initially, and it was like a 35-page script, and we showed it to a few people we knew, and they were all kind of like, I don't know what this is, I don't know what to do with it. And so we just did what I'm sure a lot of you guys did, was just like, all right, well, let's just make it. And so we ripped out anything that would require budget, and we're just left with 15 pages of scraps, and shot it piecemeal and borrowed friends' cameras and all that. And then had this first like 15-minute short in 5 parts, and then just started looking for festivals to send it out. Because we threw it online, not knowing about any film festivals, like requirements of some of them don't want you to post it already. So we just threw it up there. Nobody saw it, nobody cared. But then it started getting into some of these festivals and doing well in these festivals, and that's what gave it that initial momentum.
Were any of you in the industry prior to that at all? Like, what were some of your day gigs before you became like these filmmakers?
Well, I'd sold a pilot before. I'd sold an animated pilot in 2015, 16, and then made that with Fox, and then it didn't go to series. So then once that happened, I just kind of came back to the city and I was doing stand-up and just working a lot of like temp jobs. I tutored. I sold mattresses and a Costco. What did I do? I proctored exams. I sat at various desks for various companies. So just whatever, and then would go do stand up at night.
You were working on your act. You had all these day gigs because you were like looking for characters that you could like use for maybe.
Yeah, that's an optimistic framing of it. I was just trying to get to 5 o'clock and then would leave and then go do my stuff. Yeah.
I was voted most optimistic of my senior class, and I don't think much has changed. Biggest ham, biggest brownie, and most optimistic. So how about you, class clown? What do you remember?
I wasn't voted anything. I remember one. I ran into somebody a couple years after high school, and she was like, you were the one person that when I was going through the yearbook, I was like, who the is that? Which I took that was the goal at that time. I was like, I want to see if I can just blend into the wall. Can I just be as unseen and unnoticed as possible? Yeah.
Wow.
So I did accomplish that. Yeah. I would love to think people can read and imagine stuff, but I'm not sure that they can. And so I just think it's so much easier when to stop them from saying, I don't really see it. Once you make it, they're just like, oh, I see it. And they're seeing what you bring to it, and they're seeing what you can do with no resources. And I think that was a big thing that helped with Flatbush, is that we made these 3 15-minute shorts with no resources that technically they're a mess. Like, they're shot on like different cameras. We couldn't color it. We couldn't mix it. It's like really bad quality, but it's like embarrassing. But it had jokes in it, and it had the tone, it had the feel, and so I think that gave them confidence of like, oh, if they can do that with nothing, like what if they actually like owned a camera, you know? It might be a pattern from when I was younger.
Hey, last thing I want to do is hear you and your process.
I just came from doing this delivery. As soon as I walk in, they just start swinging on me.
That did not happen.
You're right. Virgo.
You can't just keep moving away from your problems. Is this water?
Yeah, I want it to be traumatic.
We are in lockdown.
We need to be calm and quiet.
You did not say that confidently.
I'm gonna have to report this.
Kev is not a threat. He's just an honest, struggling artist.
Don't say struggling, just say artist.
When you gonna stop calling me that?
Y'all are related?
We ringleaded.
Everybody here know I'm the OG. Everybody here know me.
Just call the cops. Nah, cops probably come kill everybody. I'm not.
Yeah.
In a call time that starts at 2 p.m. Right?
Well, that's the other thing. Comics are so used to being treated horribly. Like, we're so used to doing like terrible gigs for, in the middle of nowhere for no money. I remember the first day on set for the Showtime show, Kareem Green, who plays my stepdad on the show, who's a very funny comedian, he like knocks on my door. And he was like, hey, do you know the food that they have over there? Is it cash only, or do they accept card? And I'm like, no, you just take it. He like couldn't believe he could just like eat Doritos for free, you know? Yeah, did we have a say in who we're staffing the room with? Yeah, we had a say, but then that becomes a compromise with... They brought in a showrunner the first season who was like a very experienced TV showrunner who'd done a lot of stuff since the 90s. Because we had an insane schedule the first season. We were ordered in October 2020, and then we had to be on the air. And we had to have written and shot all of the episodes and be on the air May 2021. So we had about a 13-week room and 2 scripts were written, and they were also they had to be cut significantly for TV. So then we had to break the rest of the season, write 8 more scripts, and then shoot it March to May 2021. And I think we wrapped May 5th, 2021 or 7th, and then we're on the air May 23rd, 2021. So we were like editing, picture locking as we were going. It's like it's crazy. But anyway, so to that point, they were very adamant, and correctly so, that we bring in a couple like senior writer producers that have had experience that could help us effectively like execute, like, okay, this is the season you guys want to make, cool, here's like the steps you need to do it on this kind of bad timeline. So the fun thoughts you have of like, oh, and we could just bring in like my equally clueless friends and figure it out together. Like, we didn't have that time. So then, yeah, there's a couple friends who were pissed at me because I couldn't hire them. But, time passes. Yeah, it's tough. The question's like, how do you navigate? What's up? How's it going? No, you're good. How do you navigate enraging notes? Yeah, it's always frustrating. I mean, I think it gets easier. The phrase... I'm sure a lot of you guys know, it's like the note behind the note. So it's like figuring that out. What are they actually getting at? So if they say, if they give some note about I don't like this scene or whatever, it's like, oh, maybe it's because they don't. Well, the note behind the note, we just don't really have invested that he feels disconnected from this relationship or whatever it is. So sometimes that helps with the note-taking process of like, this is an enraging thing, and why are you telling me to do this thing? And it's because, oh, there's this bigger thing, and once I address that, then a lot of these notes kind of go away. But also, I mean, it's case by case. It's like, when there's notes that you just have to like pick your battles also ultimately, and that's like the biggest thing when you're like developing stuff is it's like if you're gonna wage like every single battle and go into it with this like, and I only saying this because I've seen people do it and it's so silly with this kind of like teenage like I'm an artist, nobody's gonna mess with me kind of thing. You're just gonna be chewed up and spit out like instantly. Like it ultimately like is a business, but then also it's like the way that you get your cool creative through is by working with them, and a huge amount of this thing is like an annoying amount of it, but ultimately it's fine, is like how do I make these other people that I'm working with, how do I make them think that like my idea is their idea, and then have them say it back to me, and then I'm like, oh, that's a good idea that you just said to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like once you figure that out, everything gets so much easier, because ultimately a lot of them really don't care. Last week, I'm developing other stuff now, and just last week got this frustrating note from one of the companies. They told me to add this scene, and I added this scene, and then their next round of feedback was, what are you trying to accomplish by adding this scene? And I was like, I did the same thing. I made a fist, I called a friend, and I was like, idiots. Like, but it's like, it's one of those things, it's like, okay, that's what, they're just going round and round here, so I can just get mad and be like, they don't know anything. Or I can be like, okay, then there must be something going on here, and then we could have a conversation like, where do we really feel like it's at, so we're not just on a goose chase a little bit. Right, and a lot of that stuff, it's exactly, they're trying to justify their jobs, and so, yeah, it needs to be this color pillowcase, and you're like, whatever, great, who cares? I don't care. Like, there's so many important things that you are gonna, like, need to, like, wage those battles for, that when it's some, like, minor, even if you disagree with it, it's just like, whatever, sure, And then a lot of times, and then you sometimes realize, like, they don't even mean this thing they're saying, My favorite, not to go on to a tangent, but like my favorite, I remember it was before we started shooting, and our production designer was on a Zoom pitching, like showing all the sets to the heads of Showtime, and they're showing like the art designs and everything and all the like carefully made stuff, and we were on such little budget and such little time, and we were about to start shooting, and we had there was no adjustments that could be made, and we're just looking at everything, and the president of Showtime, he kind of like paused and he stared off and he's like, I love a good fire escape. And we like didn't have a fire escape. And I just started laughing because I knew in that moment everybody in their head is starting to panic, and our producers are like, we have to cut these 6 scenes and make them fire escape scenes. And this episode in the school, you should be tutoring somebody on a fire escape. And I'm like, and then I knew I got off to 10 emails urgently, like urgent fire escape or whatever. And I'm like, he's not even going to remember that he said this. He literally was just like hallucinating and like was like imagining something and like said it aloud. I would be floored if he came back and said, where is the fire escape? I was like, I promise.
Do you think before you do things?
Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm an addict.
Oh, we're actually not doing intros yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're going to, I guess, restart that moment of silence for Steve, starting now.
Don't ever get married. I don't even know who I am anymore.
You're Kareem. Any woman over 40 with kids would love you.
Oh, I got my teaching job back.
A word?
What about you?
I just wanted to come here and do my art thing.
Tell me what you think.
I like your old stuff a little bit better.
What do you know? Dressed like a task rabbit.
Manifestation is real. Why you look like you about to kill werewolves?
I'm killing this drip. That's what it is.
Kanye got you wearing anything.
She wanted to go to the club. I had to order bottles to the crib and flick the lights for 2 hours
in between them dumbass commercials on Spotify every other song.
Dan, Kev, man, you two haven't changed one bit. Y'all both still so dry and awkward.
Okay.
And he's not no white savior. He's a white failure. That's even better.
Yeah.
Somebody else gonna be joining us. I got an email from Lakeisha.
Oh, I love Lakeisha. Yeah, she's our customer service bot. Representation is super important to us.
Hey, I'm Donna Drake and visiting with Dan. We're here at the NYC Web Fest. Stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys. And we're out. Just got to see her film. Was this your first film, Jordan?
Yes, very first project.
Okay, and it's wait, is it unlicensed and unsubscripted? No, what's the title? It's unsomething.
Unlicensed and unstoppable.
Oh, and unstoppable. It has to do with therapy, right? Okay, so the concept is that after someone tries therapy, they think that they can become a therapist themselves. They try to help all their friends fix all their problems, right? But don't girlfriends do that anyway naturally? Don't you always try to like tell your girlfriends about like, oh, don't date that boy and, you know, believe in yourself, right?
It's like you always know the answer until it's your thing and then you don't know what you're talking about anymore.
What I like so much about your project, about your film, is that it felt real. It felt like you were actually there. You did a great job when you were, you had like the screen and you needed to have the screen reflect so it looked like you were on a Zoom call with somebody. What was the trick that you used there? Because that's not easy to pull off. You did a good job.
Thank you. A tiny light from Amazon that we returned right after filming.
And there you go. That's what it takes. You got to be resourceful, right? You got to be resourceful. Good for you. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh my gosh, everyone on the cast, the crew, production, thank you so much for trusting the vision way back then. I know I did a lot of selling to get you guys to believe in me, and I'm glad we're all proud of it now, and hopefully you'll continue. And yeah, I just can't wait to, work more with all of you.
Maybe somebody could sponsor her light so that she could keep it for her next project. That would be really nice. What I love so much about your project is the fact that it was based upon people going to school to one another, but it was kind of based upon, you said, anime tropes, correct?
Like kind of like K-drama, Korean drama, Asian drama tropes, yeah. Yeah.
And are you excited about being in this festival? Have you been in other festivals before?
Yeah, we've been in other festivals before, but what's been really cool is we were accepted into this festival during COVID. And so like back then it was like virtual because no one was, in the same place with each other. And so like when they invited us all to come back again, if we wanted to be in the in-person one, I was like, why not,
You're working on another project though now as well. What is that new project you're working on?
I'm working on like a TV pilot that we're writing together, me and my writing partner, and also I'm working on a feature. And the feature is about like two undocumented workers who find like a dead body in this fancy luxury building that they work in. But it's like, instead of trying to be like solving who killed the person, they're trying to get the body out. Yeah.
Because they don't want to have to be found out themselves, right? Interesting, so interesting. You also act, right? What was your first project that you ever got to act in?
I worked on like a student film in Taiwan. I actually started my acting career in Taiwan, and there I played like the daughter of a woman who was having dementia, but she wasn't telling her daughter, so like it was like very much a straight up family drama type of situation. Yeah.
And from that moment on, you've just been smitten with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, since then, I've been basically everything I'm in, I've always had to cry in. So that's one of the reasons why, like, Drama High is special, because I don't have to cry in it.
Let me see you try to cry. Can you cry for us?
Not on cue right now.
Do you know what one trick I learned in acting when you have to cry? Is that you cover your face, but you laugh. Here, hold my mic for a second. You ready? Okay, here we go. But I was laughing. Congratulations. What is your project that's in the festival?
It's called Wispy. It's a fantasy rom-com about a witch who's really bad at magic, but she wants to be the best witch ever. So she's swearing off any other distractions and then accidentally summons a really hot witch into her bedroom. As you do. Yeah.
Now, do you play that witch?
I do, yes.
So you're an actor, writer, director.
Actor, writer, producer. A good friend of mine, Molly Daniels, incredible director.
Now in Los Angeles, they have this great place called the Magic Castle. Have you been?
I have not been. I've heard it's incredible.
But and you deserve an invitation. So any of our real magician friends, don't you think she deserves an invitation? I mean, come on, really. I mean, it's the best place ever.
Yeah, surely.
And can you do your nose? Do you have any witchy? You did?
So hard. I was like, and then it doesn't work.
But do you have any magical powers?
I can read minds.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's give it a try. Okay, I'm thinking of a number. What number do you think it is?
It's 7.
Close enough. 17. I'm gonna say that she saw the 7. It's gonna work for us. What are you loving best about the New York City Web Fest?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's just meeting all of the other creators and who all have similar. I talked on a panel and we were all in the fantasy series, and so hearing about other people's experiences with VFX and practical effects and everything and how it's similar to ours and different, it's been really cool.
The show is called Chateau Laurier, and it's available on Apple TV and Amazon Prime.
I watched an episode. Oh, that's your project?
Yeah.
The acting's great. The situations are phenomenal. So tell us about the birth of this project.
So it takes place in 1912 Ottawa in this Century Hotel, the Chateau Laurier. It's kind of like the Park Plaza here in New York. And I grew up in Ottawa, and it always was this grand dame hotel that had all kinds of great intrigue and stories, famous people, rich people, not so rich people, fake rich people, and I just thought, if the walls could talk, there'd be a lot of great stories in here. There's ghosts, there's all kinds of crazy things. So that's where the idea for the show came from. So I co-created it with some friends of mine, and it has bit of murder, bit of romance, bit of intrigue, and even has ghosts.
Now, it's done so well, I'm going to just assume that many of you were already in the industry. Is that correct? This wasn't your first project.
Yeah. I make a living as a commercial director. So I was able to pull in a lot of my friends who, would work for less than their regular day rates, and the cast was mostly kind of friends. We cast a couple of friends, and then hey, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? Actors love that when you offer them the role. So even the ones that we didn't know personally, I just sent them the script and I said, do you want to play this role? And in most cases, they read it and said, yeah, we'll do it, because they don't have to audition, they don't have to go through that whole process.
It's like you invited them to the table, really.
Yeah, I know you're talented, and here's a role that I know you'll be perfect for. Will you accept? And then, by the way, it's a low-budget web series. Will you still do it? Great. Well, it was launched on Apple and Prime, and we thought, just to get people talking about it, because it's with web series, it's so hard to get anybody to watch it and find your show. And originally, that was kind of for our fans. The first season was 3 times 3 minutes, and it was only launched on Facebook. So we have a big Facebook following. It's always hard to get 5 cents out of people's pockets to download and pay for the show. So I thought, what, I'll throw one episode up for the fans who've been loyal to us. They can watch it on Facebook, and if they want to watch the rest, they can go to Apple TV and watch it.
Fantastic. Where are you now in your production schedule? Are there going to be more? Are you still making more episodes? Or
Yeah, we launched it in January, so it's been on the festival circuit and it's been available. We're going to probably distribute it wider worldwide on smaller SVODs like streaming services and advertising AVOD services. And then we're going to probably by the new year start to finance more episodes. We're trying to get it into a bigger show, like a 1-hour drama, like The Gilded Age or Downton Abbey or Boardwalk Empire or Bridgerton, because it's right in that niche for that audience.
I just have to do this. Will you allow me to do something? I just want to knight him as like. I mean, like he just has such presence. He's really cool. And where can people like reach out to you?
My company is called Geneva Film Company. I'm Googleable, and the show is called Chateau Laurier. It's on Facebook. There's a big community on Facebook, and if you Google it, we've got enough of a online presence. You can see where to find it.
They have something like 70,000 fans plus. I mean, I actually did my research today. It's phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Stay tuned for more. We're living it up right here. Well, hello, and welcome. How are you?
I'm well. I'm so happy to be here.
You're like shimmy, shimmy. We both got the memo. It's holiday.
I was so afraid I would be shimmying alone. I'm so happy.
I'm happy to meet you. Is this the first time that you've been part of NYC Web Fest?
It is. I have to admit it. I haven't been to New York in way too many years. So we were so excited when we just got in, and then the nominations were just the cherry on the top. So, and the 10th anniversary, even better.
Tell us about your project.
Well, it is an unscripted television pilot. My host, Jack Maxwell, had a little show on the Travel Channel for 4 years called Booze Traveler. And then the perfect storm of getting cancer. He got cancer, chemo, and then COVID hit. So we're calling this his comeback. So
that's like the 3 C's: cancer, COVID, and chemo.
Yeah,
Cancer, chemo, kill. Yeah,
and then the 4th C is the comeback. Yes. No, and then the 5th C I don't say because only.
Where do you hail? Where do you come from?
Well, I'm in from Los Angeles. Jack and I came in from Los Angeles, and that's where we happened to meet 20 years ago, and then reconnected after his cancer, chemo, and COVID. And I'm the producer and director of this comeback pilot for him.
So exciting! Tell us some of your other work, because obviously you're such a pro. Like you just give these vibes of professional.
Thank you. Well, I am, I'm just going to say it. I am second to Vivica A. Fox on Lifetime movies. I am the lady in waiting to my queen, Vivica A. Fox. So I've done the most other than my queen, Vivica. And most of them I do with Vivica. So that's why I'm just on her tail there. Yeah. So I've made a lovely living doing Christmas movies and television movies. And a couple of years ago, I said, hey, there are not enough female directors of these things. I need to be directing. And within 2 years, I racked up 9 second-unit directing credits for Lifetime. And then when Jack told me about his idea to come back with this pilot, I said, hey, what can I do to help? And he was like, I thought you would never ask. And suddenly I'm producing and directing this pilot for him.
Kind of like shimmy on down the line. So woo! Stay tuned for more. We're going to be living it up right here. We're at the Producers Club in New York City, having such a great time at NYC Web Fest. Follow them for all of the action. Be well.
My life inspired me. I was a battered foster care kid. I was in orphanage, so I was a runaway because I was abused so bad that when I did run away, thank God I ran into theater. Theater gave me my voice. It helped heal me. And it brought me from an introvert to an extrovert. I'm in SAG, AFTRA, Local 802 music. So my inspiration was my life, taking the lemon and making lemonade. So I do a charity called Guns for Grants. They turn into guns and get a 4-year scholarship. I just did a wonderful charity for that organization. The first time hip hop, jazz, and R&B was in the same room. Never been done before. And I'm so excited about it because this is about good news. And again, I'm going to be committed to just good news. If it's not good news, I'm not going to have it on my radio, television, or print media. And I'm just inspired by all of these film directors and actors putting great story and great content in the world because we need it.
My name is Rick Younger, RickYounger, and my project is Rick Younger Presents The Rick Younger Show, starring Rick Younger as Rick Younger.
We are like two peas in a pod. I'm just going to keep that. Usually that's the part that you slate with and then you like cut that off and then you start the interview. But that was so perfect because I'm Donna Drake and I'm the executive producer of the Donna Drake Show at Drake Media Studios, and I am the real Donna Drake, and I mean that's us.
There's a possibility that you could present something, but you not be in it. So it's like Rick Younger presents The Rick Younger Show, but Rick Younger may not be playing Rick Younger. Like Bob Newhart had a lot of Newhart shows. One time he was Dick Loudon. It's like his name might be Bob, it might be Tom, but it's like, so you need to know, you know. So
it's easier if you just keep your same name. Right. Because, and even when you're like having a bad day and like the other version of you that you might not like as much as the version of you that you like, but if you all are named the same thing, it's all good.
It's like, no, it's no question. People remember all this weekend. All I say, hey, I'm Rick. From Rick Younger Presents The Rick Younger Show, starring Rick Younger. That's the one. That's me. Yeah.
How did you grow up to be you? What's your journey? Like, I want to know where you're from. I want to know what you had for lunch.
You have to have a father that is a very funny guy who should have been a comedian or a singer or an actor, but he wasn't. And a mother who was also a quietly sarcastic, funny person who decided to be a teacher. And my house was filled with improv. I didn't know it was improv until I decided to pursue improv later. I'm like, what? This is the same stuff we do at home. So yeah, it's like, that's how you make a comedian. That's how you make an actor.
And at home, if you didn't want to eat your peas, did you like push them over to your brother?
Scatter them around. Some of them would fall on the ground, you know.
And I think that's the early start of what this business is like, right? It's like you scatter the peas around, you eat the parts you like.
You go find a dog from out in the neighborhood. It's not even your dog. You let him come and eat the peas. Who brought the dog in? I don't know. I'm the answer to who let the dogs out. It was Rick Younger. He let the dogs out so he could eat his peas.
I love that about you. At what part of the journey so far did you kind of realize, like, this is what I'm going to do and I'm not going to do anything else? When were you able to like kind of walk away from the other things you wanted to try to do?
Well, I kind of always knew this was what I was going to do. It's like when it was time to go to college, it was like basically they were like, you got to go to college. I'm like, okay, I want to be a theater major. I want to be a music major. They're like, no, you already know how to do that. I'm like, okay, what should I major in? I majored in what they told me I was going to major in, but
what was that?
I got my degree in American Studies with minors in Afro-American Studies and radio, television, and film. But I knew the minute that I finished that I would be pursuing arts. And I started doing stand-up comedy right before I graduated college. And that took me to acting, and I've been singing all my life. So it's like
what's your favorite go-to song when you have to karaoke?
Try a Little Tenderness by Otis Redding. Oh, she may be
Hold
weary.
that mic. One moment, please. All right, give it to us.
Oh, she may be weary. Young girls, they do get weary. Wearing that same old shaggy dress, yeah. Got to try a little tenderness. Yeah, got to just jump to the, because it's a whole thing, And if it's really getting good, then I'll throw in some Aerosmith, because every once in a while you got to do songs that they don't expect the black guy to sing. So I throw in some Barry Manilow or some Aerosmith. You know I can't smile without you. Can't smile without you. If you only knew what I'm going through. I just can't smile without you. And every once in a while, you might have to throw in some Aretha Franklin. You know. You make me feel like a natural brother. I do natural brother. Brother, but you can do woman, and we can do woman brother. Yeah, Woman Brothers, which is the name of my new album, Woman Brothers. I just came up with it with Donna. It's like, and this is going to now be Donna Drake Presents the Rick Younger Show, starring Donna Drake as Rick Younger.
With us now is Crystal Arnett, and she's scary. It's like Freaky Friday. It's not a Friday. What is today? Sunday?
It's a Sunday.
I don't even know what day of the week it is. So tell us about your project.
So the Hunted NYCSS is a New York City version of a bigger world. It's actually spun off of like the very first web series ever. It was called The Hunted. It was created in 2000 back in LA by a guy named Bob Chapin, who is a veteran VFX guy. He's the Rose Petals in American Beauty and a swordsman. And he wanted to make a show for stunt people. So he started making this show called The Hunted. It's a vampire show. It's got its own lore. And in our show, vampires can only be killed if you cut their heads off with a blade. So it's got to be a
clean.
Any kind of blade. You know, it doesn't have to be a sword. Could be a tomahawk. Could be, a blade.
Skateboard blade. Anything.
A blade. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Roller. Okay. Yeah. Ice skating. That's what I was thinking of. I could. Yeah, there you go.
The next one. Over the years, it's spun off various versions of the show. It's actually the second version I've been involved with. The previous one was a musical, so I saw you all were just singing. We had singing vampire slayers, but this one's called The Hunted NYCSS, which stands for New York Combat for Stage and Screen. Oh, that's the real one. Sorry, New York Conservatory of Slayer Studies. Okay. It's based on a real place here in New York City where it's like a fight school. And so these fight school students find out that it's not actually a fight school, it's vampire slaying school. And hijinks ensue. This is probably the most sword heavy of all of the Hunteds that have happened. And Bob actually wrote this series, and so he took it upon himself to do some very heavy lifting on the VFX. So we've got headless, vampires. We've got a lot of blood, a lot of fun. And it's an action comedy. If you think about like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, very silly, very fun, and it's all women forward, and represents New York City really well. It really looks like New York City. I love that.
Joining us now is Ricky. So I heard the name of your project. It's nominated for several things. How are you feeling about tonight?
I feel good. I'm just really happy to be here. We did make it as a part of an NYU class in our junior year. So for us, it's just a big success that it's been recognized on a festival level, because it's not what's necessarily expected. But we did want to aim high, be a little bit ambitious, put it out there, and we're glad it's being recognized.
Now, for those in the audience that don't know what a showrunner is, what do you do? What is a showrunner?
The name does really give it away in the sense that you are running the show, and it's quite... Yes, and it doesn't stop. It's like a marathon and a sprint somehow at the same time, and you're running forwards, backwards, everywhere. But you're really basically looking at everything, overseeing everything. Think of like a film director, but you're also a lot more of a producer in that sense. So you're doing both those roles, and you have multiple films to direct because there's multiple episodes, and there's just a lot. Yeah, so I figured doing it with someone else was a good idea. That's why we were co-showrunners together on the project, and that honestly helped me a lot.
Honestly, from day one, I just love, running into so many creators that, a lot of them, some of them, it was the first festival like me, so it was just very exciting to like meet people who are starting out, make connections. It was just, I feel like there's just so many amazing people here, so I love it.
Do you also attend NYU?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you feel like when you first got into the school? It's kind of competitive, right? How did you get in? What do you think was your winning formula for success there?
That's such a great question. There's just so many talented people. So at first, it does feel like at first you really feel the pressure to like, oh my God, I'm gonna stand out, amongst all these super talented guys. And I feel like ultimately you really have to like think of like, well, there's so much talent, but we can all bring something different, hopefully, to the table. So just trying to find like my own, who I am, and just like not trying to like, do what others do, because if they do it better, and I'll just just find the things that I'm good at, and just build on those things specifically. Yes.
Family matters most, like same thing, like they're the first people that you want to call when something goes good or bad. But today it went really, really well. I mean, you've got a lot of nice things.
Yes, we were very fortunate tonight to win Best International Series and also an acting award for Emmanuel Kabongo.
Congratulations. And any final thoughts?
Just this was one of the highlights of New York for me.
They're so proud. You know what? They're getting teary, and I'm proud of him. And we just met, and I'm gonna get teary. Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up, and who knows? Maybe I'll get like a walk-on cameo someday. All right, oh Canada, I'm ready for you. Be well. In full disclosure, after I saw their film, I stood up in the theater. It's the first time in my entire life I've ever given a film a standing ovation. It won for Best Short. It's phenomenal. I would love to see it as a feature or as a series. It just makes me feel so good. It is a classic piece of creativity. It's just glorious. So congratulations. I want to know, the moment I saw the tear.
What happened?
I lost it. I lost it.
Everybody loses it.
Right.
It can make me cry now.
It's the words, though. It's the words she wrote. They're really moving.
You brought it to life. When you're an actor and you're called upon to play this type of a role, which is such a serious, deep role, what did you draw upon in your own personal life that helped you bring this forth?
Honestly, you sort of bring your whole life to everything you do. Sort of all your experiences, you put, your life into theirs and into that character. You put that character into your life, and you just try to tell the truth. And that's all I try to do.
I heard that you did like a dress rehearsal because the way that this was shot was such an I was going to ask you, tell us about that rehearsal.
Well, I wanted, for us, we do, myself and Philip and Calvin, who plays Benny, Calvin Leon Smith, we come from the theater, so rehearsing is very natural to us. And with it being a oneer, we did need to really approach it kind of theatrically, like a piece of theater, because the camera never stops. It is from start to finish as if the curtain goes up, so to speak, and so we're on an emotional through line and ride, and so we rehearsed for a week, and I think we did I don't know anywhere from 6 to 7 hours. Maybe our first day we did an even longer day, and we did that for 5 days. We rehearsed 5 days. On the 6th day, we blocked, and then we had a day of tech as well, that we went to ProCam in Los Angeles. The wonderful Jim Partaker gave us a full day there, and my crew, so beautiful, so special. They just stayed a full day. Like, we did 8 hours of teching camera with the actors and the car, and so it made every bit of difference in what happened, on the day of production. We all felt as one, and we were ready,
It's kind of like rehearsing a dance, honestly, like with the whole crew. It being a oneer, like a one shot, it was like choreographed in a way. It was great and necessary. I can't imagine us doing it without that.
So the camera was mounted on a crane. For those in the audience that aren't aware of what it is that we're talking about, we're going to explain it a little bit.
Yeah, so a oneer, either there is no stops of camera or you give an illusion that there are no stops. So you have the great Sam Mendes, who did 1917. That is a feature of a oneer, which is extraordinary. But with that said, your crew, your cast, and of course myself as a director, we have to work as one. We have to be centered and connected, and so you have camera, yes, on crane, but you have a crane operator, you have a camera operator, and then you have a focus puller. So all three of these, beautiful, wonderful humans have to be working in synergy and know the film. That everyone had to really know the film exactly from moment to moment.
And it's kind of like this. It is like a dance. It's like ballet, and it's like it moves you, and the audience almost moves with it.
That's like exactly the way that camera was moving. That was great.
You guys, I immersed myself in it. I loved it so much.
So wonderful. Thank you so much.
That was good. Oh, even Lou said that was good, because that's how it makes, as a viewer, that's what it makes you feel. You're pulled into the story. You care about the characters. You want to know what happens in their life. You want to know what happens to each of them after this moment. So we would like more. Could there be more, please?
There will be more. It is a part of an anthology called that I created called Life or What Happens in Between, and so each of these stories, though, are intended to live as they are in one moment that we meet these characters. So we will not meet Benny and James again, but we will meet another set of characters. And my dreamscape is that in the anthology, my actors Philip and Calvin continue on within the anthology. Yeah.
Lauren, what gave you the concept to do something like this?
Well, I had a show that I was helping to produce that we were pitching to television 11, 12 years ago. And at the time, web series were really taking off. And we re-edited it, and I did a voiceover, and it became sort of like a funny reality show. It was called My Friends Think I'm Funny. And
your friends know you're funny. I mean, I know she's funny. Go ahead.
So then I started looking at festivals, like what do we do with a web series? And LA Web Fest was the first web series festival of its kind. It was founded by Michael Ajakwe, who passed away a few years ago, so rest in peace. But I saw that people from around the world had gone, and I had gone to a few events in New York, and there was such a huge interest in web series and web content. And so I knew it could work here. But I mean, I had no idea. I'd never started a business. I didn't know what I was doing. But I did know, and I think it's also a little bit of the New York mentality that if I just do it, just put it on, right? Like not try to make it perfect or have it for 5 days. We just one day, it was an afternoon. And then we had an award ceremony at the back of a bar. Like there were so many issues. But you know what? There were international entries from then. So that was 10 years ago, and we've since added short films and pilot episodes, and even, as you know from today, people have flown in from around the world.
It's so touching, too, and they're so excited to be here, to be part of it, the networking that goes on, the future projects that they're already collaborating on.
Yes.
I mean, that's what ends up happening. You just kind of have this, it's like a soup. People just kind of come together like, oh, I've got the broth, and they're like, oh, I've got carrots,
Right.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun. The energy here is really electric, and it was the last time that you were with us as well. I think you're the soup. I think you know what's going on.
I'm the crouton. That's all, honey. I'm the crouton. Or the paprika.
Yes. So yeah, the energy's amazing, and we were virtual for a couple of years during the pandemic, and then we were in Miami last year, and it was a lot of fun. But I did know instinctively that the festival belongs in New York, and I think this year really proved it.
And it's not just the screenings. You have the workshops. Tell us about a couple highlights this year.
So Jamie Monahan, who was on the jury this year, and she's also an alumni. She's taught a couple of workshops and also been nominated for awards in the past. And she has now since become an intimacy coordinator, which I think is really important. She taught a great workshop on that and how to make your cast and crew feel comfortable. And I sat in for some of the workshop, and she said intimacy coordinating is choreography. The love scenes that you're seeing in movies are it's choreography. It's like dancing.
It's like Twister. It's like right hand, left hand,
yes.
Right leg, left leg. Right
yes, there. And then on camera. So she taught a great workshop on that. And then Dan Perlman, who you had met, is also on our jury this year, a New York comedian who screened with us in 2017 and then sold that pilot to the Showtime network. And I feel that that is something that creators all want to learn about, that experience. And I'm just grateful that he showed up as well, too.
A lot of fun. There's an after party tonight. You gave a big, beautiful shout out to the Producers Club. I love it too.
Yeah.
This is the kind of place that like everybody knows your name kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you just come and it's your vibe, you know?
Yes. Yeah, it's very New York, isn't it? Like it's a great vibe. It's a comfortable space. I thought the theater worked well. I don't know what you thought. I thought it worked really well, and I thought everybody was friendly, and that's important. It's the hidden gift of anything. I think that the feedback that I've gotten from NYC Web Fest is that people feel like family, and that's why it's almost like a family reunion over the years. And so I feel like the Producers Club is like that. I had worked with them before, and so I'm happy, not for the festival, for something different. I knew that they were nice people, and they still are. So I'm very happy.
Absolutely are nice. When are the submissions for 2024? Is it open tomorrow? I just want to know. I might
the
submit.
Donna Drake show is yes. So submissions will open on May 1st. We usually open in the spring, and the festival will be the second weekend in November. I should look those. I'm locking in those dates now, and we will be back in New York where we belong.
And it was very fun for me personally to meet Rick tonight, you know, because it's like the Donna Drake show, the Drake Media Network, the Drake this, the Drake that. Rick is hilarious.
He's really funny. He's really funny.
Opportunity for me to meet new friends tonight as well. I love you. You're the best.
I love you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you for your support always.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up. So much fun. Robin C. Adams is here. We're having the best time ever. And please join us next year. And if you are creative, submit, right? Just submit. This could be so good for you and good for your career. Be well. Whenever I want to put on a French accent, I always sing Michel, ma belle, sont les mots qui vont très bien ensemble, très bien ensemble. And it helps me get my French going, you know? So basically, I liked the project very much, and obviously a lot of other people did because you won. What did you win?
So we won for Best Actress for Tiffany Montembeau, and we also won Best Series, Best Web Series. We're like mind blown.
And this is your first festival, correct?
Yeah, first festival, first project. Yeah, all together.
First everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. Everything is possible.
Everything is possible. I'm really true. We're going to end it on that. Everything. One, two, three. We're going to say everything is possible. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everything is possible. Now say it for me in French.
Tout est possible.
Give it to me one more time.
Tout est possible.
Tout est possible. I tried. All right. Be well, guys. Thanks for watching. Yay! I'm Lauren Atkins.
I'm Donna Drake.
Oh, no, wait. That's Freaky Friday. It's not even Friday. It's Sunday. Okay, wait. Let's do it again. I'm Donna Drake.
I'm Lauren Atkins, founder of NYC Web Fest.
We want to thank you for watching. And please, if you have a project, submit it. NYC Web Fest. That's all you need to know. Thanks for watching.